Welcome to Lanil Havenland Life. If you're new to the channel, my name is Poetry. My wife Kristen and I, we have 6 kids and this is our homestead. We moved from the city. We basically sold everything. We had bought some land that was raw land and we started from the bottom up and are developing it from there. Even though we live in the middle of the woods out here in the country, we like to call ourselves hybrid, meaning we can be on-grid or we can be off-grid. When we lived out in the city, our electric bill, there would be times where it was like $400, $500, and it got to the point where it was $600 a month. If you look at one of our later videos, we talked about how I actually had the electric company come out and go over every piece of equipment in our house, from the AC to the refrigerator. Okay, why is the cost so high? And every year or whenever, they would just continue to raise the cost of electricity, and there's really nothing that you can do about it. So that was one of the many, many millions of reasons of why we wanted to move out into the country, so we could be more self-sufficient. Coming out here, it is extremely, extremely cheap. And so we have the capability, we call ourselves a hybrid family, where we have the capability of being on-grid and we have the capability off-grid. And I'll show you one of those ways right here. This is the electrical box to our house. And this is the switch for the house, which is on, of course, right now. Here's a switch for the RV, which is currently off right now. And we have additional switches that we are in the future going to be connecting things to. So right now we're running off of city power, and I'm going to show you how I will shut down this entire house and we will run it off of our generator. As you can see, all the power is on as we are on city power. Refrigerator's on, microwave is on, stove is on. We even have a dehydrator that is on right now. We're cooking up some salmon, but everything is on right now. All right. We got some salmon dehydrating here. This is wild caught salmon. Ooh. This is wild caught salmon. That's good. Oh, you did a good job.
Thank you.
Yo.
Is it so good?
That's good.
Sean marinated it.
Okay.
I don't even think it's quite done, but it tastes good just like this.
Oh yeah, this is good right here. This is juicy.
Yes, salmon jerky.
I love it.
So good.
Okay, we're gonna turn off all the lights. We're over here at the indoor main panel and we're gonna turn every single breaker off. Ba-boop, bop-doop, doop, da-doop. Ooh, I got boom. Everything is off. We're gonna leave that open. Refrigerator power is out. Dehydrator power is out. No time on the microwave. Oven is out. Deep freezer light is out. This is a 10,000 starting watt generator, which is more than enough that we need it to do. It runs off of gas and off of propane, so it is a dual option generator. We're gonna connect this generator to the bottom of the meter base of our house first before we turn it on. This end of the plug is going to plug in to this adapter at the bottom of the meter base, and it should click. You just push upward like that, and it's in. We'll take this in and plug it into the 120 200 volt. We'll take this in and plug it into the 120 240 volt plug. All right, that's set good in there. We'll leave the generator breaker off because once we start it, we'll let it run for a little bit and then turn that breaker on. Let it kind of get up to full power. All right, we'll turn this to gas. We're running on gas right now. will go ahead and turn the breaker to the generator on. Now this blue light indicates that we are on generator power. Well, all right, y'all. We have switched power from city power to generator power. All of these are still off, and we're going to start to cut power on using the generator. Let's start off with, let's get some light up in here. All right, we turn the generator on, we turn the light breaker on, so let's check the lights. Boom, boom, and there is light. We'll turn on the oven and the stove breaker and check those out. You know what? We're just gonna turn on all of the breakers. I'll come over here and show you. We even turn on the light in here. There's light, light in the pantry, light. And we'll go ahead and turn on everything. I've already got everything on here. Boom, 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 boom. This one click. That one, there. We got the range on, air, smoke, smoke. Smoke. Everything as you see is on. Stove is on. Microwave is on, but we need to put the time on. We hardly ever watch this TV, but we'll turn it on. Boom. Everything is running just fine, looking good, and it's fully running off of the generator. This entire house is powered by the generator. We'll go ahead and turn all these breakers off and we'll switch it back to city power. Boom, 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 boom. And technically I don't have to turn off all these breakers. You can leave some on. That actually kind of helps it when the system, when the generator's power starts up, to have a few of these on. We're at the front of our property. The Homestead house is back there, so I thought it would be easier to talk to you up here without the generator noise. Eventually, we're going to make a box for that generator to kind of muffle the sound. So, as you see, we are running our entire Homestead house off of generator power, and that generator can run off of gas, it can run off of propane. We're going to switch everything back, and we're just going to go backwards in our steps. We already turned the breakers off, so we'll kind of disconnect everything and get it back to how we had it. We can also run our generator off of this generator power. We can either plug the RV straight into the generator, or we can plug our RV into the box down here. RV plug is off. We're gonna plug this into the outlet down here. It's off. On. Three green lights. The generator is off. We are now off of generator power. There is no power to the house. We can safely unplug the cord from the base of this meter. We'll cover the cap and we'll unplug the cord from the generator. The entire time during this switch over from the city power to the generator power, We'll leave the main breaker on. We do not have to touch that right there. We'll go ahead and turn all of these breakers on now. Boom. Everything is on now. We'll go ahead and turn these off because we are outside.
If Utah's state emblem is a beehive, it says color the beehive if the group of words is a sentence. So what is a sentence? Every sentence begins with a
capital letter
and ends with a period or question mark or exclamation point, right? So you're gonna read the first sentence, and if it is a complete sentence, you're gonna color the beehive.
Ooh, good job. Doing some homeschooling here. Kristen does a great job homeschooling all of our kids. They were all homeschooled. Charlotte did her 11th.
Senior year.
Charlotte did her
Yep,
senior
she went to
year at school. Charlotte went to experience her senior year at high school. So she went to high school and graduated. And then Sierra, she did 11th and 12th. She went to experience around the same time Charlotte was going to high school. She went to go with her as well. So Sierra went to 11th and 12th at school.
Yes.
So, but for the most part, we do homeschooling every year, and we do homeschooling year round. There are no breaks unless there's like a vacation or something like that.
Yeah, we
So-
take a very laid back approach year round.
Yeah.
So if we have to take breaks, we take breaks. So
Yeah.
we kind of work at our own pace. So
But there's no guarantee that when everyone else in school in May or whatever it is, that they're gonna get a summer break. We pretty much kind of go year round just to kind of keep everything sharp and not get lax or anything like that. So
yep. So right now we're doing Skyland's language work. He's learning about
Language.
subjects and predicates, and
and you're doing a
com-
great job.
he is. So you're drawing a line dividing subject and predicate. Very good. Good job.
When we moved to this land when it was nothing but trees, forest, and just natural growth, we started out with an RV, and then we put 2 tiny house shed conversions out here. And because we have such a large family, we built our homestead house so that our children had a place to live and commune in and go to sleep. But we got stuff to do. With that said, we try to be as self-sufficient as possible, trying to teach our kids how to equip themselves with things that we feel aren't really necessarily being taught in this world that we live in, things that we feel really matter. Even when it comes to homeschooling, what does that really mean? Are we just teaching what is being taught in the school and just bringing it home and teaching the same thing? Or is it really giving them real tools and real things that they really need to know as they live in this world? Okay.
I'm gonna leave too early.
Yeah.
I'll leave right at 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps over your math.
Okay. It is seed planting time for our garden for this fall and winter. Since we moved to our homestead, we've been gardening somewhere between March through September, October. And the heat and the weather is just too harsh on the vegetables, the plants. And so we're trying something new. We have been able to grow those things, but it's just harsh. So we're trying something new. We're going to treat our summers like an Alaskan winter, where in the summertime, we're not going to grow anything. It's just too harsh. The sun is just too hot for us to maintain the garden. We're going to switch it up. We're going to plant now for the first time and see how that works out. It's much cooler. The weather is just better for the vegetables and plants. This right here is basil. We planted this earlier in March, and it has just kept blossoming. It has just boomed. This isn't basil, and that's not basil. I forget what those are, but all of this is basil, and it just has been such a wonderful season for that. All of this is mint. I remember when this was just as small as can be, and it just boomed and blossomed. We did have some remaining remnants of kale and some cabbage in here. We'll continue to let those grow. I'm not sure if they're at their last end or whatnot, but we'll continue to let those grow. But like I said, all of this is just mint and has just been awesome. It just has blossomed in here, and it's doing really well. All of these beds we're prepping and getting the dirt and soil turned over and getting those ready for this fall season. Again, it's our first time playing in the fall. We're trying something different. I'm really just trying to get this straw out of here. I don't mind it, and it's not bad. Some say that it might be acidic, but I guess there's debate, back and forth debate on that, so I'm not sure. I do like it because it helps keep the moisture in. We had tomatoes in here. Those kind of ran their course earlier in the year. We took all those out and put the remaining parts in the compost bin. A couple of months ago, we're in the store and I'm looking for a certain type of seed, and the lady's like, we don't have those anymore. So I was like, oh, okay. She's like, you might want to check around the corner though, maybe on one of the end caps, we might have some leftover seeds. So I go look and they didn't have it. She goes, we actually have boxes of seeds that we're about to throw away because the seed season was over for their store. And she's like, we're actually about to throw these seeds away. If you want them, you can take them. So I was like, okay. So I take the box and I'm kind of like, all right, I need to make sure, everything's cool with me walking out the door with this big old box of seeds. It's like a whole box of an assortment of different kind of seeds. So I go to the counter, and as I'm walking out with this big box of seeds, the lady at the counter was like, oh, let me check. So I said, hey, I'm just letting you know the lady over in gardening said I could have this whole box of seeds. So I'm just letting you know when I walk out the store that these seeds are free. So she's like, all right. So I said, just, check with her so there's no issues. So she did. So long story short, had an entire box of an assortment of seeds. I had so much that I was giving them out. I mean, there's only so much I can do with 50 packs of pumpkin seed. Right now I'm breaking up. We use popsicle sticks. You can use whatever you choose, but we've been using popsicle sticks to write down what the vegetable plant seed is. And we just write on there and then stick them in the seed planter. And they fit, so when we're germinating them, the top actually fits on them as well. If I was to put this whole popsicle seed in there, the top wouldn't fit on there, something that we learned along the way. So we split them in half. And then I think later on we found, they sell these like in short sizes. So I think I can cut them. Yeah, we'll cut instead of breaking. Ooh, that's even better. We've tried different ways. Some work, some haven't. Some may work for some may not. We've tried cups. inside, indoors, they worked. We tried some cups outside. Sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. What we have tried recently that has worked, I'm not sure why it is. I don't know if it's our environment. I'm not sure if it's different seasons or that it just works differently at different times. But we have been using starter lights, and starter lights has worked out for the most part 98% of the time. We've tried it outdoors and sometimes the seeds just don't germinate. But under the seed light, they have germinated really good, about 95 to 98% of the time, and they germinate rather quickly. So that's what we're going to do with these this time. I could, but we were doing that before in, like, again, we were starting seeds around January, February. They would germinate, and then later on we would plant them. But again, the summers are just so hot that it would just deplete whatever it is that we were growing. They would grow to a certain extent, but not like we really wanted them to. So we're gonna try it. This is our first time trying in the fall and seeing how that goes. All right, the plan is to plant tomatoes, thyme, cilantro. Some of these I don't write the whole word out. You get the gist when you're looking at it. We got enough basil, bell pepper. I call it bee-pep over here. We're gonna do some carrots. We're gonna try that out. Red onion, lettuce, spinach. We'll do some green onion. Boom. Some cucumbers. Those we have done, for some reason, those do really well. They're not one of the harder ones to grow for some reason. But now that I said that, we gonna see. Squash, it's been a hit or miss, and they'll grow, but then they don't do what, they don't get big. Squash is one of those, I've heard that they've really gotta be pollinated in order for them to get big and do what they need to do. Or you have to manually pollinate the flowers. We're gonna do some green beans. We're gonna do some cabbage. This is another one that has done extremely well, and that is bok choy. Matter of fact, we're gonna do a couple of those. We're gonna do a couple of them. We're gonna do some artichoke. We've done it before. Nothing really came of it, but we're gonna try again. Artichoke. We're gonna do some more jalapenos. We do got jalapenos in the garden, but you can never have too many jalapenos. Some jalapenos. We've never tried Brussels sprouts, so we're gonna give it a whirl. I felt some sprinkles. We're gonna do some rosemary. Rosemary has been one of those hit or miss. We actually were able to grow some here recently, but in the past it was something that we tried, and just didn't happen. But recently it did grow. The wind is blowing right now, so like stuff keeps falling out of these trees. Cayenne, we're gonna do some cayenne. That's good for you. It's good for the system. Collard greens. We actually got some collard greens. I think when I was in the garden earlier showing you around, some of those were collard greens, not cabbage. And what's funny is we're saying that we're planting in the fall, but our fall temperatures are some states or countries' summer temperatures. Our temperatures we're the hottest state, at least top 3 in America. So our fall temperatures, even though we say it's fall, these are some people's normal summer, spring temperatures. We're gonna do some kale. We're gonna try some cauliflower for the first time. And we're gonna do some broccoli. And we'll do some yellow onion. Okay, so I'm sure that there's a ton of other veggies and herbs and plants that we can try and grow right now. Again, this is our first time trying to grow in the fall, so we're gonna see what happens with this right here and learn and grow from there. All right. So we're in the middle of doing our seed planters, and it is
Got a little
raining.
rain.
Yes,
Yeah.
so we're trying to get this done because, of course, that's natural rain, and we can get all these where they get some natural rain in them. But yeah, that really
Free water.
free water.
Free water.
Yup. Yeah, this rain just like came out of nowhere.
Literally.
So we're on one of the tiny house
Yeah.
cabin porches trying to finish this up so we can get this one in the rain, and then we'll get these up under the sea lights. Yep.
Booyaka shot.
Boom.
Boom.
Da, da, da.
Let's do it.
Okay, we got the seeds planted. We got them topped off with soil as well. These were already under here. It's raining, and we finished this one up. We actually added some more veggies and herbs to this one so we could fill up the entire planter. Sierra and I are outside up underneath this umbrella. This rain just like literally came out of nowhere. We're outside of the garden area. So we got these seeds planted. We're gonna let them get a little fresh rain since it came out of nowhere. And then we're gonna get them up under the sea lights.
Let's do it. Let's go.
The rain has slowed up now, so we're gonna get these covered and get them inside. We have topped them off with soil. We're gonna get them covered and get them under some sea lights. Now, I know being in Florida, we do not have a lack of sunlight here. We have tried to grow veggies outside, and it's just been really hit or miss. Some just didn't grow at all. I don't know if it's the heat. I'm not sure what it is. Now again, this is the first time that we've tried to grow in the fall, so it could be different. But what I do know is that the seed lights, planting these seeds under the seed lights has worked. We've had a great, percentage as far as the growth with them, at least 97, 98%, that these germinate. And then, we'll move them outside. But at least to get them started, we're gonna have them under the seed light. We may try, a couple of variables to see, what are the choices that we may have that actually do work that we don't know of, or try and, start them outside again. But for these, we're gonna start them inside under the seed lights. This room in the house is currently empty, at least for now. And so we use part of this room as a seed starter for the vegetables and herbs. We'll keep them here. We also have a window behind me that we can open up and use as well. But for the time being, they'll be here, and that'll give them a chance to germinate. We'll continue to work on the garden and get the soil prepped up in the planters. And then once these have germinated and are ready to go fully, we'll get them into the planters. These are two of our compost bins. I need to get the compost out of this one and get it into the garden. So that's what we'll be working on here as those seeds are germinating. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us here at Lanil. That's the sounds of the country life. It's hunting season. If you don't hear those sounds out in the country, something's going on. Thank you for joining us here at Lanil Haven and Life, and we'll see you next episode.